Welcome to the Life After Life podcast, where we explore our soul's physical and non-physical journey. I'm Majona. Let's discuss angels, guides, and loved ones from the other side. Hello, and welcome back. You have Thomas and Majona.
We are together again, back in the saddle again.
All right, we teased about this a little bit in another podcast, and it was just sounded like too much fun, so we're coming back to revisit. We have all the tools that we need in us to communicate with spirit, our loved ones that have passed over, angels, guides, everything. We have it all built in. And no matter where you are on that scale, sometimes it's nice to be able to get some outside confirmation of that you're right on the right path.
And you know, sometimes just intuitively, it will say, get a reading.
Yeah.
You'll know that that's something you're supposed to do.
It's okay. It's just, and that's why the angels like it when you put them to task, because it just helps build your confidence.
I'm kind of feeling that myself right now. Go find a good reader somewhere.
Get a reader. Well, so Thomas and I were going to share with you when Thomas stepped out and bought his first deck of cards. And, you know, he's from his background, very conservative Baptist, what that was like to go out there and buy a deck of cards.
What was it like to even step into the metaphysical shop?
And you didn't get struck by lightning.
I was like, should I walk in here?
Yeah.
It was a little bit intimidating, I got to say.
Yeah. So, you know, good for you for taking that step. All right, so tell us about your reading or your experience with this.
I had gone to a favorite place up in northern Arkansas called Eureka Springs. And it's a little magical town with great energy. And in the middle of Eureka Springs is a metaphysical shop, still there. It's called Crystal Waters. They have a Facebook page, and the proprietor's name is Josie. She was in there that day. And obviously, I was full of questions, and she was so patient and just so guiding in pointing me in several things. So I got a little meditation mat and a couple of other things, I forget. And then I was looking at the cards. She said, have you ever gotten a deck before? And I said, no. She said, well, just stand here and feel which one calls out to you. So I did. I looked at a deck and kind of put my hand over in that direction, and boy, there was this one, the Angel Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue, kind of a purplish case. It was by far like no way there would be any other way that was the deck that was calling.
It's very clear when you
super obvious.
Yep.
Okay. So I got everything together, went back to my little place, and I was so excited. I got up on the bed and spread the little deck out. And just like you said in the last podcast, I took the little booklet and did all the steps that were in the preliminary. I followed everything. And I don't know, that took maybe 20 minutes. And then I shuffled and put out and drew a card. And it was the solar plexus card. Now, I was a couple of years into this transformation where I wiped the slate clean and had started this new way of thinking, but I was still very shaped by the past. And one of the foundational things of the past was I had beaten myself into total silence. I mean, I just completely withdrew from any kind of public profile. I let all the failures of the past just stack up and accumulate, and I just was shut down, basically. So this very first card said solar plexus. And when you read about that, it's all about speaking your power. And it said the angels are ready for you to own your power, to step into your power. A tear came to my eye. I mean, it was such a direct message. I thought, oh, wow, this is something else. So I was just there in that space, in that moment, breathing. Ooh, I just gotten this amazing message. 44 cards. So I slipped the card back in the deck, shuffled the deck. Now I cut the deck and shuffled again.
Because that was just a coincidence.
Cut the deck, drew the card.
And?
Solar plexus.
Double coincidence.
I read it again. Now I'm breathing a little bit. I'm like, whoa, wow, this is amazing. Oh, like, no way. No way.
But we are human and we have an ego, so you got to test it.
So now I shuffled the living daylights out of that deck. I over-shuffled the deck. I'm shuffling that thing, cutting it, sliding the cards in and out. Like there's no way this is going to cut it again. Third time, solar plexus.
And that's the only card. You're drawing one card only out of the whole deck.
One card. I shuffled again. Equally hard, probably more. Fourth time, solar plexus. I was like, okay, I'm sold. You are speaking to me. Wow. And I still even telling that. I'm a little choked up here. That was absolutely amazing.
Y'all, that's why we're so passionate about this. Your angels are such a source of love, and they are there for you, whether you need a safety net or a friendly boost, a hug, a pat on the back, or a little nudge to get moving. They're there for you no matter what. So if you are toying with the idea, and there are other tools of divination that we can talk about as well, I think that cards are a good, easy one to start with because there's writing on it, and it just makes it a little bit easier. All right, there's also a lot of different kinds of cards. My recommendation is go for a high vibration, especially when you're starting out. So those would be any angel cards or soul purpose or gods and goddesses or ascended masters. Those would be higher vibration. Now we hear probably everybody's familiar with tarot cards or tarot cards, depends how you pronounce it. Those are legitimate and those certainly work and they've been around forever. And I think that those are a little bit more challenging. So that's not what I would recommend to start out with. The angels, and just know this, if you go with the angel cards, angels are very loving and their answer is always yes. Always. They are loving you and supporting you, and you will never get anything negative from them. You will get nothing but unconditional love and support and guidance. And so if you're like, well, if I do this, will it be okay? Yes. But if I do this other thing, will it be okay? Yes. Because one, you have free will.
Yeah, that's the way it is in spirit.
Right. Yeah, everything is okay because think of this all as a soul's journey. And you are here to experience and to learn. So there is no wrong answer. No matter what you do, you will have an experience and you will learn from it.
We put too many rules and constraints on things, don't we?
We sure do. We need to just stop it and enjoy it. So hopefully this has given you a little bit of a glimpse into this can be fun. It can be fun and lighthearted, and it should be.
Okay, I have a question. So that deck that I got was from Doreen Virtue, and so many people know of Doreen Virtue. She's been doing angel readings and whatnot for a long time. Now she has transcended. She has reshaped her belief system away from this, and you can read about it online if you want to go down that road. But now that she is no longer in this conversation and no longer energetically supporting the work that she did, do you think that those products still have the original intended energy in them?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, we're here, again, having a human experience. So my understanding, and I really haven't looked at this a lot, so Doreen was raised conventionally religious and then became, quote, New Age, which has been around longer than anything else. So it cracks me up that it's called New Age.
Yeah, nothing new about it.
Did y'all know that the Magi in the Bible were New Age? They used tools of divination back then. She hit a point in her life on her soul journey that took her back to her roots. And that's okay. I don't know what that is, but that's just where she is. So when she was creating these angel decks and whatever other decks that she created, she was definitely in that vibration. She was definitely inspired, and she was absolutely guided to do that with her angels and so forth. And just because you change your mind doesn't mean that energy leaves. So I don't know if those are still available, quite honestly, for sale.
I think they've been pulled.
She very well may have pulled them. But there are also other people that have created decks that, I think the thing about hers was they were early on. She started creating decks of a different kind of early, so she was a pioneer, and the artwork was beautiful. That was the big thing about hers. Not that they were any more special than anybody else's. So you can probably even, Amazon probably even has them, but a Metaphysical shop for sure, Hay House, you can get cards in so many places. I would really recommend getting a new deck. Don't use somebody else's. If you choose to do that, then one, make sure all the cards are there. And then clear the cards, sage them, or do something to clear that person's energy off of them. And then just keep them with you extra long to infuse your energy into them. So just a little extra clearing process.
That whole thing of keeping your energy in the deck is a big deal. Now, I've seen some readers where they'll let other people touch the cards. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's okay because, one, it's the reader's deck and their energy is well infused. The only thing is if you go get a reading and they do that, make sure that you watch and they clear the deck before you touch it so that they clear that person's energy, reinfuse theirs, and then you can get a better reading.
This is such a great way to see firsthand how poignant energy is.
It really is. It's amazing.
It really shows up here.
It affects every part of our lives. All right. Well, we're going to duck out for today and hope this was informational and entertaining. You can get us at Majona at lifeafterliferadio.com. And we have a website by that same name, just lifeafterliferadio.com, and a Facebook page. We also do Subconscious Mind Mastery Podcast, and Thomas does Fun Astrology, short podcast every single day. Until next time, namaste.